If you only have 15 minutes a day to learn a language, you should forget the apps, you should forget textbooks and classes and all of that. Of course, forget YouTube and comprehensible input and all of that. I'm going to give you a plan that actually works. It's the same system I've used to learn multiple languages, fast, even with a packed schedule, while working full-time. It's based on a very simple idea. Fluency comes from learning sentences, and fluency comes from doing lots and lots of repetition. I'm going to give you a very simple 15-minute plan that you can use to learn any language. This works for any language, right? The plan has 4 steps. Step 1, prepare your language islands. Step 2, shadow those language islands. Step 3, practice active recall with those language islands. And step 4, listen to those language islands in the background throughout the day while doing something else. Let's break it down. Step 1, prepare your language islands. What's a language island? A language island is a mini script, a short collection of phrases that you can actually use in conversation. Highly practical, useful sentences for each and every one of the conversations you normally have, and all the topics you talk about, and all the situations you usually face or that you think you will have to face. For each one of them, you prepare a mini script with all the sentences you want to be able to say. These are your go-to sentences, your foundation in the language, your safe zones, so to say. You can start with 10 or 20 sentences for each situation and then expand. Things that you will actually say. You can simply sit down and brainstorm, or you can get ideas from anywhere, really. And once you've written your first language islands, small groups of sentences for a specific situation or topic, should be a small paragraph, each language island. Once you've got them ready, it's time for step 2. And step 2 is shadowing. You've got your language islands translated and with audio files, and you start shadowing, which means listening to them and repeating them at the same time. You can do this with the text in front of you the first few times, but after that you should do it without looking at the text. Simply listen to it and speak alongside it. Repeat the sentences. Like when you sing a song that you're listening to. And it's very difficult. This exercise is very difficult. You're going to mumble a lot, you'll stumble, you'll stutter, you'll mess the sentences up, but with each rep, it's going to get smoother and smoother. You'll speak way better. You'll be amazed at how much better you can speak just by doing this 5 minutes a day. In the beginning, it's also a really good idea to do 5 reps or even 10 reps with the same sentence. So you repeat each sentence 5 or even 10 times in a row till you learn to say that sentence relatively well. And then once you've done that with the whole text, with the whole language island, you can do each sentence once from now on. This exercise will improve your fluency, your pronunciation, and your rhythm all at the same time. It's the fastest way to sound more like a native. I'm not saying you're going to sound like a native speaker, but you're going to sound way more like a native speaker than you did before doing this exercise. Shadowing is especially powerful if we combine it with the next exercise, active recall. Now, you've heard and spoken the sentences, been repeating them aloud, shadowing. Now it's time to remember them, to be able to say them from memory. And here's how it works. You look at the sentences in English or in whatever your native language is, and you try to translate them into the target language from memory after having repeated it aloud in the previous exercise. You look at the sentences, you try to say them in the target language, and then check. This is active recall or retrieval practice. Try to translate, check if you say it correctly or not. And if you made a mistake, which you will make, lots of them in the beginning, no problem, you're learning. This is how you learn. This is, according to neuroscience, the fastest way to learn anything. It's hard work, but it's very, very effective. This exercise forces your brain to think in the language. And then you say in the sentences aloud as well, and then you get an immediate feedback. This will allow you to find and correct all the usual mistakes that you're making. So shadowing gives you pronunciation and fluency. Active recall gives you precision, making fewer mistakes, and also helps you think in the language. You can start doing 5 minutes each, and your speaking will skyrocket. Both are difficult exercises. It can be frustrating. Active recall is especially difficult, even more so than shadowing, but they're both extremely effective. Active recall is slower. You review fewer sentences in the same amount of time, but you will learn much more actively. And this is really important. Step 4 is listening passively. This is optional. You don't really have to do it if you're doing everything else. If you are creating language islands and shadowing them and then doing active recall with them, your speaking will improve, even if you don't spend hours and hours listening to the language. Of course, the more you listen to the language, the more it's going to help. But I did say that this was a 15-minute routine, so this is not technically included in those 15 minutes. This is additional reviewing you can do by listening while you do something else. This is time that you'd be doing that thing anyway, like driving or commuting, so you can listen then. But listen to those language island sentences you've been shadowing and doing active recall with, the sentences you want to be able to say. Again, this is not included in the 15 minutes, and if you don't do this, you will still improve a lot by writing language islands, shadowing the audio files, and doing active recall with them. But if you also listen to them on repeat, you will improve even more. And that's it. That's the system. 15 minutes a day, simple, although not easy, routine to do. If you don't have much time, but you want to improve in a language, just do this. 5 minutes writing more language islands and preparing them, translating them and creating audio files. 5 minutes shadowing those sentences and the previous ones from previous days. And 5 minutes doing active recall, translating mentally or verbally into the target language and then checking the feedback. And if you do this every single day, 15 minutes a day, you will improve very quickly. And I do mean quickly. Because if you spend 5 minutes a day writing sentences you want to be able to say, you'll have several hundred sentences just the first week that you will have then listened to, repeated aloud, and translated into the target language. I'm not saying you will remember all of them and be able to use them all in conversation from week 1, but if you keep doing this every day, 15 minutes a day, more and more language islands, more shadowing, more active recall, very soon, in a matter of months, you'll be able to speak quite well in whatever language that you chose to learn. If you want to try this kind of learning routine for a week for free, there's a link in the description for the 7-day challenge.